welcome and good evening to Full Time here at Mo University. I'm Edi Tuchek, your host for tonight, and once again a Friday where I'm here in the workshop working on my figure dioramas. Currently, I'm working on a miniature of the Supreme store in New York. On Lafayette Street. That is what I learned today in my when I researched my fun fact. And so this is the Lafayette Street in New York. I don't know if it's Brooklyn, if the district is Brooklyn, but it's in New York. It does look like this. I have it here on the board as a reference. Let me show this to you, like old school. It's like a corner building. I was confused because the backside is also this building, and it's a skater store. You know, it's a where you can get some apparel, some streetwear, and I'm doing this for my Yume figure. She is here. Here is the Yume figure, and maybe for another figure too. Let's see. Normally I would have shown you the whole set, but when I started preparing for the stream, it broke down. I mean, it tumbled down. Luckily, I did not damage too much, especially not the figure. But now it's like put into pieces, which is good because I need it now separated. Quite contrary, it's quite the hassle to have it always on display just to like show it to the stream. That's a bit of a downside when doing this live. You have to present your work to the audience. You know, that's a thing. I hope you can hear me well. Let me just mute my audio a little bit more. Also, I'm wearing the apron for quite some time now because it's cooled down quite a lot. You can also see it on the weather report. We have like 21 degrees Celsius, and if everything comes like they predict, next Friday we might have like 20 degrees more. Around that, maybe, I don't know. So very hot times lay ahead. You can do this as well. You can type in like exclamation point weather. You can point exclamation point fact for the fun fact of the day. You can also point exclamation mark hydrate to force me to drink something, because I did not bring anything to drink into today's stream. So you might have to remind me to drink something. So so if you found this place, might stick around, watch me build something that I might use later as a figure photo backdrop. I hope I can finish this in August. Depends how much work I will put into this, because the base structure is now almost finished, but there is still like this border on top of the side walls as well as the main wall, the front entrance. You can build this like even higher. I mean, it's a multi-store building, but then again, I might not need it. If everything is now like as it is, and I put this together, I glue it together. When it's painted, then I will check with the figure and with my camera if any further like construction is necessary, because let's be honest, I don't want to build this any further than necessary, because I will also not keep this around. I mean, it's a nice build, it looks awesome, but still I don't have the space and I don't have like the proper possibility to display this. So this, maybe I will just keep it stored like in boxes, because those are just basically flat sheets at this point. That's the sidewall that I built with the structure. It's quite nice. I mean, I've also did the structure inside the window arches, so that it looks like the bricks are massive and going inside. The laser helped a ton with that, actually. Yeah, so I can basically look through the window, and I also did because this looks now like a big window, and then I did the wooden window frame. like this, and then we have the arch on top. So, but everything needs to be painted now, so that's the reason why nothing is basically glued together. So I will now start with the paint first, so that it can dry, and maybe later on we can do some other stuff. Let's see. I also have to be careful not to like constantly move this around, because it's all like soft materials. This is foam, then this is like balsa wood. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's an old building in New York, so it doesn't need to be like in top mint condition. If something breaks, or if there is some like a kerfuffle, I will just say it's weathering, you know. And of course, I can also do the remove damage later on in the After Effects. Not After Effects, Photoshop was it? So we have a good old Austrian newspaper here. It's from November 2025. So it's actually quite some time. So I already like did some painting on it. Let's see, and let's get to the workbench already. Okay, very good, very good. And let's switch the cameras. No, not this one. Printer is offline today. I have such bad wireless network these days. I don't know why, but for some reason the internet connection is the wireless internet connection is very weak. I'm starting to think that this has something to do with the weather. I mean, that would be silly, wouldn't it? But because I can see it on several occasions. The printer, the laser printer, also the 3D printer. But the 3D printer works better, but the laser cutter always says it doesn't come online, so it's constantly offline or just very weak signal. And yeah, also I have like temperature probes all through the house, and those are also, most of the time, some of them are offline. Even ones where I might think those should be near to the router, so maybe I have to restart it. But I did this a couple weeks ago, so I don't know. Okay, so basically we have like a couple. I don't have much variety when it comes to acrylic colors. I did not, excuse me, I don't want to harass you, but I need like a spoon to mix me some color, and I have to mix a lot of it, because that's quite some structure here to build. So let's start with white. No, let's start with red. I also has a little bit of water in here, because normally acrylic paint is much too dense. So let's keep with the red. So red. Normally the red and green should be like brown. Let's add some green. Isn't this like basic color thing? Red and green should be brown. Let's try if this basic knowledge that we get like from ground school or elementary school, if this does work. Let's see what red and green does. I mean, it gets brown. Who would have thought? It's more yellowish, brownish yellow. Okay. Then let's add some actual brown to the mix. Some black. We have to be very sparse with the black, because it overpowers everything. So just a little bit. You can always add more later on. I've already like painted this once, but it's a little bit too dark. Oh, that's actually quite nice. Look at that. We're getting some nice brown in here. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. It's interesting. If you can mix colors really well, you don't need much of them in like different shades. It always reminds me that I still have so much projects here in the workshop that I need to realize. I want to have a color palette on the wall where I store my model kit paint stuff. the small tops. I also want to bring some showcases down here. Today I did not manage to bring the funny magnets. I really have to put this on some sort of like schedule. But yeah, that's actually a nice brown, I think. Let's add some white and a little bit of red, and then I guess we are good to go. So I hope everyone who's watching, hopefully people watch, had a nice week. For me, it was one of the last, like I said, one of the last like mild temperatured summer weeks, because the next heat wave is approaching. So I spent the day at work, but I also took some time of my day, and after work I drove to the airport. It's not far away, so I did this on my bike. I drove to the airport, and I managed to shoot a smart doll photo. Nothing too crazy, you know, nothing too crazy, but I wanted to do this photo for a long time now, and I might need it next year for the smart doll calendar, you know. And because it's usually the motifs on the smart doll calendar is either something that correlates with the season, you know, pretty novel concept to have like calendar pictures that correlates to the season. It's a novel concept, but I'm willing to try it out. And sometimes it also correlates to my like life, like activities we did last year at this time and date. So for example, for like May I will put some, or August, or maybe June. We worked in May. We worked in August. In August I will put like my smart doll who is doing garden work, for example, because we renovated the garden. So okay, now we have all the brushes. I have all the brushes here because I washed them, and now they are returned. That's actually my favorite brush. But will I use my favorite brush, or will I use another one? I guess I can use my favorite brush. Let's see. And so yeah, I did the photo. I did not check my recordings on the camera, because if I now sit down and start to edit the photo, I don't say the photos, because I usually only take one picture if I'm doing figure photos or smart doll photos. I'm not the guy who's doing like a photo streak of like 10 or 12 different photos with one doll. Usually because I have one idea, like one outfit, one pose, one motif, and nothing else. So I just will edit the photo. But of course, since it's all digital, you take like hundreds of pictures these days only to take one photo, one motif. And so yeah, I have to edit. First, of course, I have to like see what's the best picture, and then I have to edit it, because I tried to do this like as a real photo, like a practical effect, so to say, but still it was not possible. So I have to do a little bit of post editing magic to get this done. But yeah, it might be a little like nice smart doll photo, and it's also the only photo that I will take in July, because most of the time in July I was down here in the workshop working on this figure diorama, or I did like plastic models, or not much else. I mean, currently working on the Teo figure review as well, and I hope I can put it out in July, because first, of course, I mentioned it in the script that it's out in July, so it would be a little bit silly if I put this out in August, and I will talk in the video that it's now July. And also I want to keep it, you know, I want to push it out in July, because I will also mention it in the My Month in Figure that I might record this weekend, because like I said, Now it's actually very livable upstairs in the studio, so I can film and I can edit without breaking a sweat. And so I might do this. And when the heat wave strikes again, I will be down here in the basement and work on the figure diorama so that this can be finished in August. I'm also like still, I'm not planning, like the plan is already like done, but I'm still want to do the Aqua photo, like Aqua, the the character from Konosuba, and I've ordered all her accessories, but one of the accessories I had to order straight from Japan, if you believe it or not. It's always a bit disappointing if I have to do so much like special orderings for figure photos, but sometimes I have to. I ordered it straight from Japan, and it might take some time until it arrives. So yeah, technically I have time like until September to do this photo to be thematical accurate, but I kind of dread this photo because I don't know how it will look. It's one of those photos, it's outside photograph with props and with special effects, like with practical effects, and yeah, I don't know how this will look, so yeah, okay. I mean, first, of course, I have to I can't really test the photo. I can test the effect a bit, and I will do this, but then I have to decide everything on location, and those are always a bit like, I don't like those kinds of photos. I was never like an outdoor shooting type, so some of them look really awesome, even some of when I did them, but if I can do it in the studio, I would prefer doing it in the studio. But then again, gotta say today, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes you doom scroll a bit on social media, and you get some target. I mean, I hope it's Target. I know not the store, but like targeted advertisements, and most of the time they are just like not well targeted, I would say, because like currently most of my ads that I get on social media, like on Instagram or Facebook or like X, are like those like lasers or cutting machines, because apparently there is now like a little shift in like they are getting bigger, more powerful, and also I guess more affordable. I mean, they are really expensive, those like really big machines, and for some reason I get advertisings for them. I mean, I guess because I have one and I've bought one and so on and so forth, but I would never consider like those like 6, 7, 8, 9K machineries for my workshop, because first, of course, I would not be able to bring it down here. they are so heavy, because I have like this tabletop variant, and it's already heavy and some bulky. And before that, I was considering like a standalone machine that basically is the same, has the same power and would have the same work area, but would have like basically a cabin underneath. For some reason, I mean, there is nothing inside, because even the water cooling system is just like, it's just a bucket where you drop in some pump and some cold water, and that's your water cooling system. So I don't know why there has to be such a massive cabinet underneath. I guess just to raise it, and that you can like stand beneath it and work with it like a proper machinery from a workshop. But yeah, so I would not be able to have those machineries here in the workshop. And also, I'm satisfied with this one. I mean, satisfied. It does what I need to do. I mean, more power would always be nice, but I don't need to cut metal. I don't need to engrave metal, stuff like that, but yeah, those are usually the advertisements that I get. But today I got an advertisement for, and I know that those exist, and some YouTube people are already using them, and because for my figure reviews, I have this automated camera slate. It's just like basically a dolly system on some like with a belt and some like bars, and the camera is mounted on a tripod, and it just moves. Basically, it's designed to move like horizontal from left to right. And if you like change the angle a bit, you can also make the camera turn automatically. I mean, automatically it just does it because the bars are a little bit crooked then, and it just follows the angle. So there's no like brain to it. There's no like traction like this camera. This camera tracks me. I mean, sometimes it does, but at least it's advertised as futuristic AI tracking. Those are basically just glorified like what is called security cameras, to be honest. They run via network, and I guess the resolution and the picture quality is decent enough that you can see what I'm doing, but it's no like 4K really nice camera picture. But I wanted something that that I can work with constantly without having like to worry about battery life, without having to worry about file size, stuff like that. But I'm getting sidetracked. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Okay, so for some reason I'm getting a little bit, a running nose. Don't know. I mean, it was really chill those days, so maybe I'm getting a little bit of a summer cold. Nothing to worry about, I guess. Okay, so I was getting like sidetracked. Okay, so there's this thing that I have that is an automated trolley, and like I said, it is designed to go horizontal from left to right, but I use it mainly to go up and down. And now you can like imagine that this little motor and this little plastic belt that is running up and down is not really happy to move like up and down while carrying my my camera. I mean, I use a mirrorless Sony camera that is okay-ish in weight, but I still use like proper lenses, so they are not the lightest. But still, it's a relatively light gear with exceptional quality. Because if I would use like our old photo equipment that was basically just Canon, the professional stuff, the lenses with the red ring, it's too bulky. It will not work. So yeah. This is my current setup, and yeah, it gets it shows some age, let's say. I mean, it still works, but I have this when I started with my reviews, with my figure reviews. That was actually in 2019 or something like that, and so yeah. Now it's almost like 6 years, 5 years plus, something like that. So maybe it's time for an upgrade. And I got some ads for those automatic camera like cranes. Basically, it's just a miniature camera crane where you put the camera on, and it not only does like horizontal or vertical movement, it also can go back and forth. It's but just basically a small little crane, and apparently it works like magic, like with tracking, and you don't have to like supervise it. I guess, I hope so, because otherwise it would be pretty pain. Because I've also had like a motorized gimbal that for some reason I wanted to use on locations like conventions, a really proper one, like not a cheap one or not a toy one, but a motorized gimbal. And I used it a couple times on said locations, and I was always like, I can't use this. I'm not like trained in this. It was always a bit like clumsy to use. Um, yeah, so it wasn't for me, and I sold it when I stopped moving, when I stopped visiting conventions as a whole. And so, yeah. But the motorized crane, I think, might actually be a step, an up step in production quality for figure reviews. And I'm very interested. I have to look it up how much those cranes cost. And because, but then I would have to like also update my production, because now I'm filming everything in a photo box, like in a um, you know black box, so to say, with lights. And I gotta be honest, I started with like a gray background back then, and this was like nice because gray is always a nice background because you see the whites and you see the blacks, and color also pops very nice with a gray background. But the problem was that all the shots had like different shades of gray. You could never like really replicate the same shade of gray, and you had to color correct most of the shots so that it's almost the same gray background, because if you change the angle, if you change the like the lens and stuff like that, it basically changes. Gray is not like it. White is if you have like zero information white, or if you have black, it's easier to do post production, I think. So, and also now I'm standing in front of a green box in a green screen, and I can basically also, the black is very easy to work with, I would say, the black background. But also the black background for some figures, like this one, for example, where it's all black cloth, it would not work. So for her, if I film her in like a couple of weeks, I guess, I might will do this on location, like outside on public grounds, and with like a crane, with a camera crane, I would be able to, or I had to film all the reviews outside, where I can do like a 360 movement around the figure. I think this would be awesome if I can get a crane, and if I find a nice location or some nice locations, I might really be able to film my figures outside with a turntable, with a camera crane, with some interesting backgrounds. Which would be very novel. I don't think that anybody does this. So yeah, or maybe I just use the studio, maybe. But sometimes I can go outside and film the figure outside. That would be actually pretty neat, you know. Pretty would it make pretty novel, the whole thing. So yeah. I imagine something like going into like the first district in Vienna and film there with like the St. Peter's Cathedral in the background or stuff like that. I mean, this would be might be overkill, because I would still need some like equipment and some time and some lights and stuff like that. So, but just an idea, you know. It could be done. But let's see how much those camera cranes cost. If they cost too much, I'm not buying it, because let's face it, I'm not that good or that known of a YouTuber that it would make sense financially speaking, even for a hobby. It's also the reason why I don't spend tons of money for my like equipment here. I mean, some of it was necessary, or some of it I dreamt to have for a very long time, like the laser cutter or the 3D printer. But when it comes to other printers like UV resin or stuff like that, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I don't need those at the moment. And the good thing is those like semi-professional tools. It goes for everything. It goes for filming. It goes for podcasting, or for like self-production, studio equipment, all that stuff, and also now, of course, workshop-related tools. They only get like cheaper and more affordable for the consumer. No, especially with this whole like maker scene, or this whole content creator scene. There is a demand, and so those things usually tend to get more accessible, lighter in weight, and basically they scale it down because back then those equipment no, the things you have to had were just for basically professional broadcast crews. So it had to be like rigged and expensive and bulky and like, you know, basically indestructible. But a podcaster or a vlogger might not need that sturdiness of the equipment, but still he would need the capability. So, you know, I mean, I've seen an ad. It was just like an ad read from a YouTube. I'm earlier. Hey, Diborg. I'm earlier than normally. No. FoolTime always starts at 9 p.m. It's also in the intro. Monday starts at 9:30, and FoolTime usually starts at 9 p.m. Or at least I try to keep the schedule. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this schedule. The Twitch schedule is also like kind of silly. I don't know. You can only like schedule like events. Like you say you want to stream on Monday, but then you stream every Monday. It assumes that you have like every Monday as a stream. So you can't like pick one date, or at least I did not find it when I started with this like a couple months ago. Maybe it's one of those like affiliated things that you can do. Maybe. I mean, hopefully sometimes I will be affiliated. The only thing that is still missing is that maybe we can achieve this today, but I don't think so. But that we have like a bunch of streams where more than 4 people, or like an average of 4 people, are watching all the time. So, and you need this like 4 times in a row, or basically very row-like. It doesn't have to be like 4 times in a row, but still over like 2 weeks, 4 times in a row or something like that. Because when you achieve it once and you do not do it again, it just disappears. You know? And I also have the feeling, I mean, I was never like YouTube like monetized or something like that, but that's the same thing where you have to fulfill certain metrics. I think if you achieved it once, you also have to like keep the metrics there, because if you like fall under it again, they will just, you know, terminate or like postpone your affiliate or, you know, monetized status. I guess. I mean, it would only make sense, because otherwise they would have too many like inactive users and creators and stuff like that. So, and usually if you grow over time, you aren't supposed to like reach it once and then never again. So yeah. Hello there, welcome to the stream. Gotta say, you didn't miss much. I just told the people that I did dismantle the whole diorama because it tumbled when I did preparations for the stream. But it's okay, because I need it dismantled anyway, because now I'm starting to paint this stuff. But I was watching like I was seeing the thumbnail of the last stream, and actually this was done off stream. Oh shit. Yeah, like this, the side walls are now both are finished. I've added this nice little texture to the walls that look now like brick walls. And also I did as you can see, I did the window frames, the wooden window frames, and I'm currently painting them because that they can dry, so we can do other stuff while they dry. And hopefully I will have this done in August, somewhere in August, so that I can take the picture. Yeah. And even though I might not take this picture outside, because I don't think it's necessary, I might start filming figure reviews outside, at least the B-roll. But maybe I will do also the I will also do my skits as well outside, because I have no shame basically. I've learned this long ago at the conventions. We always had the saying that cosplayer have no shame, and sometimes this was true because every joke has a fact hidden inside. But basically, I'm also having no shame, and so I would have a problem to do my reviews outside. Kind of like Ren reviews, if you know what I'm talking about. There's this guy who does gaming reviews and with a pretty novel concept. And for some reason, he's not like super popular, I guess. But I like his style because it reminds me of the things that I did like back then at conventions, to like just basically, I wouldn't say prank people, but be a little bit out there. And film outside. How is it called? The channel is Ren Reviews with like with double N, is RENN Reviews, I guess. So it's I don't know. I find it kind of funny. It's like game journalism mixed with hidden camera. Sometimes it's really cringe to watch, and sometimes it's really awkward because he interacts with people. And I guess it's not scripted. It's just really like people like from the street and like some cashiers or something like that. But at least it's novel. I like it when people are doing like things that no one else does. Or it's not just super common, but yeah, I like it. Ren reviews, yeah, that's it. So, haven't watched in a while, but and I guess he also scaled it back a little bit because, as you could imagine, doing stuff like this outside is always like troublesome. You have to schedule time, you have to shoot on location. It's much more time consuming and much more difficult than to do it in a studio, like the things that like someone like Angry Joe does, which is also a ton of work, don't get me wrong, but I know doing stuff on location outside, you can always run into trouble, especially in the big US of A. Sometimes I'm wondering if those people get in trouble for doing stuff like that, because let me tell you, I was also not asked. I was also asked a couple times if I have like a license to do this, and was like shooed away from the location. But sometimes you really have to like surprise people. You can't do everything like in consents, because otherwise it would be like scripted and people could prepare. So sometimes you have to just film an unhinged and honest reaction of something. Labor intense. Oh, I love the Polish flag you have behind. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. It's like such a classic flag motif, like the red and white. Everyone uses it. It's like most used, I think. So how was your week? Did you have fun? Did you were productive? Mine was okay, I suppose. It wasn't like the best week, but at least today I managed to take a photo that I wanted to take. Next month I go, oh, take your wife to Poland. Sweets, I mean, sure. What can you offer? What are some Polish sweets? Is it like in The Simpsons with the crab guy? What was it? Crab cravash and crab water. A big mixed bag. I can relate to that. But you know, not every day or not every week can be super awesome. But sometimes I'm just glad that it's over. Say what type you want and I will look for some like bonbons, chocolate cookies. I mean, I guess like bonbons or like stuff that doesn't contain chocolate is the easiest to ship and to store, because with chocolate in the summer I would have like always like I would stress out if it melts on the way to my home address. I mean, I ordered like 2 months ago like Zotter chocolate for my dad, and I was also like, but they actually pack some like ice things in the box as well, but still. Luckily, I'm not at home, so the post office guy just takes it to the warehouse and stores it there, where hopefully it's where hopefully they have an AC. I guess they do. Yeah, anything that doesn't melt, but you know, anything can melt. We had like for a period of time we had like those candy loot boxes that straight from Japan, and you know, you wouldn't believe what types of sweets that can melt or can like change their their texture while being sent to us. Or maybe they were just like badly stored, because let's face it, those boxes are not like, you know, they are like all loot boxes. They are just like things that got left over somewhere and now they are like packed together to maximize the revenue that you can pull out those things. But at least it was all the things were consumable, so it was not like garbage that gets put into some junk drawer, never to be touched again. I was pretty productive. I managed to take photos of the sweetest Miku ever. Yeah, I've seen that picture with the like, I guess like gingerbread house. It was a bit like you know, what is the right word? Like confused about the season, because it looked a bit like Christmassy to me. Then again, in 5 months we are like celebrating not New Year's Eve. We are celebrating Christmas Eve. So anyway, unfortunately, the end of the week ended with an injury in my index finger and have to wear a splint. Oh, so this. So I think this weekend is going to be quite. Oh, but you know, you can still catch up with some like shows or read some manga or stuff like that, I guess. Sometimes it's not so bad if you are forced to rest, because let's say I'm sleeping two less hours, so you know, I'm constantly sleepy, and it's also not a good thing. And so sometimes things happen for a reason, I guess. Yeah, those loot boxes. I guess we had like, I don't know what type we had. It was a couple years ago, and usually those companies, they don't stick around. They just, you know, rebrand to different names. But yeah, it was okay, I guess, because first, of course, those like candy boxes and like packages from Japan are usually quite small, even if you buy them in the supermarket. And you know, at least you can eat them. And we like just filmed the unboxing for shits and giggles, So, you know, I guess that's the main reason why those boxes exist, to just provide an economy of like YouTube people who unbox them on camera and eat them and discuss them. Don't know if many people like just buy them like you buy normal sweets and just consume them without any like event behind it. But yeah, it's better than like some of those nerd loot boxes where you just have like basically a T-shirt and the rest is just junk. But yeah. And of course, some of them even provided a real store where you could buy like things. Like if you enjoy one of the basically test items, you can order them in a bulk. But also quite expensive, of course. But isn't it funny that it's like possible to do stuff like that with the sweets and like snacks that we consume are like so different from place to place? And of course, Japan is like, you know, wow, it's such a weird place. You have all the snacks. You couldn't do this with like Austrian snacks, because if you do this in a subscription model, you would run out of stuff quite soon. But I guess the only places that couldn't pull this off are like US, China, and maybe like Japan or Korean stuff. But you know, with those like Japanese loot boxes with the candies, you always got like some things that are clearly not from Japan. They're like just this looks Asian enough, just throw it in there. But yeah. That's exactly my plan. I'm hoping to read manga from my ever-growing pile of shame this week. Now I have to take the bike to Oki's place and oh shit, doesn't stick at all. Glue. What is this? I have a newly filled glue bottle and I don't use it. Shame. I have to pick up the model kit because the Saku is ready. So I can start with a new one on Monday. And so, yeah. But I guess I still have to wait until I can take a picture of the Saku, until Oki gets here and displays it proper. But we can discuss this on Monday. Let's not spoil ourselves. Let's stay focused on the build. Oh, Japan is so weird and quirky. They even have vending machines with used panties. I've never seen those, to be honest. I mean, I guess they are a thing, but you know, used panties. I don't know. I mean, I've had quite some, like in, what was it, like was it in Switzerland? I found a vending machine that also had some very interesting items in there. And this was like before the days you could basically buy whole cell phones and like power battery packs and headphones and stuff like that from certain vending machines. But they had like, I guess, what was it, like a thermometer, like for flu, or was it like a pregnancy test and stuff like that? So it was a pretty weird vending machine. Yeah. What do nowadays? I mean, the vending machines in Japan are actually really awesome. But where is the Polish flag? Here it is. Because of the possibility to have cooled and hot drinks. And I don't know, I did not travel the world as much, but I think this is quite a novel thing only in Japan, or at least in Asia, because I can't recall that I have seen those like vending machines everywhere else in the world that have like heated drinks as well in the same machine. I mean, this must be a nightmare to operate those machines, where something has to be cooled and warmed at the same time. But I guess a certain amount of nuclear power plants solve this problem. Every other TV program. Yeah, Oki has showed me basically a possibility to watch live Japanese TV. I mean, it did not work very well when he showed it to me because of, like, you know, VPN and it's basically, if you hear like radio, like online radio, like real radio stations from across the world, it's always hit or miss if it's decent in quality, like signal wise. But basically it works. I was very surprised that you can actually watch Japanese TV live streamed. Because when we looked around for accommodation in Japan, we wanted to have one with a TV set so that we can watch Japanese TV when we're there. And most of them just had like basically a beamer nowadays with a big wall. And they just, you know, they usually advertise that you have like Google Chrome and stuff like that, because most people just want to stream some movies or stuff. So we weren't sure if we could actually like watch a Japanese cable TV, which is actually quite funny to have on in the background. So, and sometimes it's helpful if there is like an earthquake. We experienced an earthquake, and the news about this comes on in mere seconds. It's crazy. So yeah, but yeah. Actually, my original idea was to create more of a sweets candy like Wonderland rather than a winter scene, but after thinking about it for a long time, I decided that snow should fit, yeah, the snow Miku after all. I mean, I'm still surprised that there is a Sakura Miku, but I guess Sakura Miku is not as popular. At least I don't think that they have like yearly Nandroid and Figma releases. But I'm still wondering that they just, first, of course, they did not make like a all-season Miku. Like there's a spring Miku and a fall Miku and a summer Miku, and you know, every year. And also that there is no sweets Miku. I mean, I guess there is one, but as a standalone thing, but not like on a yearly basis. But yeah. Especially since I made it out of a coconut. Ah. Huh. So you made the snow is coconut. Huh. I mean, this was actually, I did a gingerbread house once, not for a figure photo, interestingly, but for a Christmas card for our family. And so I was building one of those like gingerbread house kits. It's like one of those dollhouse dioramas, but you can actually eat it. But not really, because the gingerbread you built the house with is basically next to cardboard in quality and in taste. But I used like real what is it called, like sugary paste to glue it together. So I didn't use like artificial stuff like wood glue. So I did the real thing, and I bought some sweets for decoration. And it was so intense to build it, because you had like the constant smell of those sweet sugary things, and there was like basically just one for the house, one for me, one for the house, one for me. And yeah, it's a shame that those kits basically are just very small gingerbread houses. So if you want to make a really nice one, a really big one, you have to basically bake your own gingerbread. I don't know. And gingerbread is not the easiest thing to bake, at least in my opinion. At least that's what my mom always tells me when she makes the gingerbread cookies for Christmas. You know, they're always one of the harder things to pull off. Yeah, the icing. Yeah, the icing on the cake. With like sugar and egg yolk. So yeah, but like I said in the beginning, today I went down to the airport, or like the the outside of the airport, the tarmac, tarmac. As far as you can go, there is a fence, and pretty much a few meters away the runway starts. They even have a little like hole in the fence, so you can stick your lens through, the camera lens, if you want to take some pictures while the plane is landing or is starting. It depends on the wind, of course. And yeah, so I went there and I just did a little smart doll photo, which I might use as a calendar sheet for. It's like 2 different shades. Holy smokes. I don't know why, but do I have to do this again? Huh. Interestingly. I thought I did this once, but apparently it's too dark underneath. So yeah, I use it as a February picture for next year's calendar because of the flight to Japan. And apparently today was a good day. To do this because I wasn't alone. I drove there several times already because it was my usual work way for a couple years. And so I drove there on regular basis, and you don't see so many like people standing around taking pictures because, let's be honest, the Vienna International Airport isn't really known for any like special flights that come in. So you usually have those small, what is it called, the Airbus A320 or something like that. So like pretty small aircrafts. There was a time when the Airbus A380 was operational from like what's it called, like Saudi Airs, Saudi Arabian, or no, Emirates. It was Emirates, of course. But I guess they also don't do this anymore. But yeah, usually people only come when they are like big. Yeah, the Emirate flights come when they are like big events. There was one time when the like Antonov landed, when it was still in service before it got bombed by the Russians in Ukraine. But other than that, you know, not many people are watching the planes. But today, several people were there, and took pictures. And I waited so long until I was like satisfied with the setup, because like the planes come in like groups of 3, like every like 50 seconds there is a plane, then next one and the next one, and then there is a bigger gap between the planes, like 2 or 3 minutes. It's actually pretty crazy if you're standing in the field where they just, you know, the glideway, and you just stand there and watch the planes. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like crazy, and that's every day. It's just normal flight operations on a pretty like mid-sized to small airport like Vienna. And so yeah, I was standing there so long that I actually managed to take a picture, and I guess I will use that machine because it looks so cool, that I was able to catch the inbound flight of the Korean airline freight plane that operates from Vienna. That is a old Boeing 737, like with the four turbines. It looks so old school. It's such a nice iconic aircraft. But of course, it's only just for freight, and I guess they have to use it because you can use older airplanes for freight still. And so yeah, I was quite happy to catch those. And now I will just work some magic, some Photoshop magic, to have those shots combined. because I was under the impression that it's enough if I just focus on the doll and just set a pretty high aperture, but no, the even though the plane is really close at this stage of the flight, so it's basically just like what 30, 40, 50 meters away from the ground. It's still too far away, and it was still blurry. I mean, you could tell that's a plane. That's not Superman or a train. That's a plane, but still, it was like a bit blurry. And so I'd had to like focus once on the doll and then a second time on the plane, and I will now just mesh those two photos together. I mean, you could say that I just had to do the smart doll photo without the plane, and I could just like take the stock image of a landing plane, but you know, at least with this approach, the angle is correct and the lighting is believable. So it's just a collage and not a fake picture. Sometimes you can't shoot it at once. Usually I don't do this with. I know some figure photographers are getting like crazy when it comes to like focus stacking. They always like brag, oh, I took like 3,000 or like 100 pictures and just focus stacked it together. But I don't know. It's like with HDR. I tried it a couple times and I was never satisfied with the result, especially with the automated result. And if I did it by hand, it was always like a bit like. And I don't know. It also looks uncanny to me if everything is in focus, if everything is sharp. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I do it when there is like a pointy weapon that looks that points forward or backward. Then it's better to have it also in focus, even if it's not really believable. I mean, technically, I have a tilt and shift lens for stuff like that, but using the tilt and shift lens is always a bit like cumbersome, especially if you don't know what you're doing. It's basically the equivalent of button mashing. You just turn and twist and move something until you're just, oh, okay, I can use this effect now. It's also actually really crazy that this is so much darker than this one with just one layer. It's like, holy smokes. Okay, so let's do this as well. Okay. But I have to. Can I get this off here? Okay, I can. Very well. Ooh. What's with this glue? Oh, that's what's called Patex. Oh, that's not wood glue, but it's better if I do it like this. Isn't it like a 50-year-old machine? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, 50 years, this sounds so old, but then it's just like 70s, and there are so many planes from the 80s and 70s still operational. It's actually quite crazy. But if it looks too good, it looks altered Photoshop. Yeah, I mean, with the things I built, I'm always glad that the background is kind of blurry, so I don't have to be too exact. But yeah, I know, to each their own. I mean, I'm not the biggest person when it comes to actually shooting the picture. I'm more of a build guy and more like a concept guy, but actually taking the picture always takes me the least amount of time. I mean, I just try to remember some basic like techniques in terms of lighting and you know, basic photographing skills, but I'm not one of those like who's trying 20 different approaches in terms of like flash photography or lighting in general. So No, thank you. And once you see that people will enjoy it anyway, so why even care? I've already like consumed most of the pain. You say 100 years old gun, you think musket, but in reality it's a Bauer assault rifle and 2 Browning heavy machine gun. You say 50-year-old plane, I think, well, yeah, exactly. That's right. I mean, with guns it's even more like crazy, because it basically when was the Kalashnikov like invented? I mean, if it still works, I mean, technically nothing changed, or not much changed in that time frame. It still operates on like compressed powder, gets boom, shoots a projectile. There are some like, what's it called in English? Like the things that is in a gun barrel, like that makes the bullet like spin around. Felder und Züge in German. So yeah, I mean, we had firearms. We pretty much had figured out like a couple 100 years ago already how it works. And I guess modern firearms are just like different materials, and they become more like interchangeable with like attachments and stuff. It's basically like a big tool or a kit or like a big sandbox, but the actual like fire unit, it's just it's the same principle. Ah, grooves. Yeah, grooves. The groove. Rifling inside the barrel. Yeah. Oh, so this is the rifling. Is it really called rifling? Is it that easy? But yeah, before that, it was basically an unstabilized bullet or a ball of metal. Or was it? I guess it wasn't even metal, it was just like lead or something like that. Yeah, not so great for precise operation, but at least you could like duel someone, because I guess Ordinary Things put out his duel video where he like told how people used to duel with like pistols, and that it was like basically a thing because the guns weren't that accurate, so you would like had a chance to actually win a duel or just walk away from a duel even if you lost. And it was just basically to hurt or intimidate your opponent, but not to kill someone. But when guns got more accurate, a duel wouldn't make sense anymore. Modern tanks, smoothbore. Yeah, I've heard about that. I mean, I've always heard the term smoothbore cannon. But I guess with tanks, it's a different story. But yeah. I'm also always wondering if like there are so many shooting accidents with like guns, and so apparently it's really hard to hit the target still. So let's say, for example, you don't want to, it's not an ego shooter where you just always headshots. You just, you want to stop a person, and sometimes it goes bad. So even from a very like near distance, it might be possible to get it wrong. But then again, you also hear about things when there is like at a certain. I was always wondering if this is like true, because we told ourselves like basically horror stories in the military when you have like a gun that fires at supersonic speeds. That it basically is, it doesn't matter where it hits you. It can only like basically just strive your ear or your shoulder or something like that, and you will still die because of some shock or something. I was like, damn. And that's the reason why most guns that are like NATO thing and like you don't do war crimes are basically firing just below supersonic speeds. So yeah, I don't know if this is true, because it would actually be like some sort of like, you know, that space racer guy or was from Invincible, and he shoots someone, instantly dies. I want to take Shvetzi to a shooting range, but now she doesn't have life. Do you need life insurance to shoot on a shooting range? Huh. I guess it makes sense. I guess in Poland you can do this a bit like with more extreme equipment. I don't know if it's possible in Germany, but you always hear about people that go to USA and just shoot some automatic rifles or some hand grenades or like rocket launchers and stuff like that. I mean, we can also do this in I guess in Russia or like some other crazy places, but no. There is certainly gun tourism. So it is actually a thing, huh? Always kind of scary because, you know, it's always also interesting if it does hurt if you get shot. Like, of course it does hurt, but how bad is it? I mean, not many people can tell this story, I guess, or can like describe it. If it's just, or I guess if you are like really high on adrenaline, you won't even feel it. It's like might be the same if I cut myself with my knife. It's not that it's so bad when it happens, but afterward it does hurt and it bleeds, and you know. I guess it also depends if it shatters some bones, if the round like sticks in your body. I don't know. I don't know, but sometimes I think it would be nice to have a new wife and some extra cash as a widower. Oh, yeah. So, oh god, that's so dark. So somebody shot the pigeons. I cannot even finish this with the paint. That's annoying. I get a little bit of a darker mixture next, so that I can do this again, and then it's the other color, because it's crazy how much darker the other parts are. That's the bad thing about the wood in general, that it like absorbs the paint a bit different than like cardboard or more like sturdy materials, or like just plastic in general. It doesn't seep in, but the wood actually makes everything's inside. Don't like it. So okay, I guess I will just consume all of it, and then I make a second mixture that is a bit darker to match the tone of the front door. And if it doesn't fit 100%, you can always change it afterwards in Photoshop. Just make the brown a bit darker. I mean, the worst part always was, while shooting, was always like to clean your gun afterwards in the military. It's basically the reason why we didn't shoot as much. I mean, the first reason was, of course, we had no money for ammunition, so it was especially live ammunition. But then you had those like basically just smoke bullets where it's just like black powder, only makes pang, pang, pang. And those are just basically, you know, black powder that dirties your gun, does nothing, and you have to clean it. And when you receive those bullets, you just take them and just half you throw away into the into the field, so they don't have to shoot as much and don't have to clean as much. But then it doesn't really matter if you just, even if you just fired one of those bullets, you had to clean the gun. So yeah, it's mostly cleaning, sometimes shooting. I mean, that really was the case with like the military service. Not just the gun. I mean, gun cleaning, you know, can be fun. It's just, you know, but you had to clean all the other things as well, like your clothes, your shoes, everything. And of course, it's not just normal wear and tear where you go around. No, you just have to make a belly flap into the mud, you know. Not so fun to clean those things. Luckily, I did my basic training in winter, so most of the ground was always frozen, because back then we had something that resembled winter, at least for a few weeks, and so the ground was always frozen. So if you were crawling on the ground, you didn't get yourself dirty. And since it was very cold, after a few days, most of our troop was like ill, or at least pretended to be ill, and so we basically had to stick to indoor like training, and you know, military service, mandatory military service really already prepared you for a life behind the desk, where you just basically pretend to work all the time, and each task takes an enormous amount of time, because, you know, we have to plan, we have to considerate, we have to get all the supplies then from different storage units, and then we have to like ask a couple like superiors. And then maybe on the third day we start with the actual task, and then, you know, take some time to do stuff. We had this one, like, slow and precise, yeah. We had those one couple guys, they were like painters in their trade, like wall painters, and they just volunteered to paint the logo of the battalion onto the wall. So they used a projector, and they just, you know, painted it. And it took so long. I guess they were like occupied like 3 months with this wall painting. So let's see if I can get it a little bit darker, or if I should stick with the light brown. I mean, I wanted to have it light brown, but if it's different, and if I don't get the other parts to look light brown, then that's the reason. If you build for photo or for video, you have to do other shades, because, you know, If it's too dark, then it's basically black. If it's light enough, you can always make it darker in the camera. So if you want to film horses, you have to use cows, or was it the other way around? Can't remember. Because horses look like cows on TV. That might be it. That might be it. You know, artists are like that. I also wanted to have a light brown, but you can't own them. Oh, light brown! It's a gun thingy. So let's yeah, okay. It's a bit reddish. No code is like the same here. Where is the big one? Where is the big one? At least I get some layers done. But I also have to take attention that I'm not overdoing it with the paint. Otherwise, all the structure will be lost. What actually, I was like really intimidated, or what sounds like a big field of knowledge is all the ammunition you can use for guns. I mean, I know that you basically have certain types of calibers, but then there is so much like to know what kind of ammunition you can use for certain types of guns. That's actually a pretty scary. With each additional layer, it looks more like real wood and not like light wood. No, yeah, like everything, like this, the size of the bullet, and because sometimes you can like they are interchangeable, but also like yeah, the power of it, and you know. I mean, I know that there are certain like types of shotgun shells. You have like your slugs, and what is the other thing called? The like basically real shells. But then you know, I guess it depends on the material of the bullet, like the little thing that really like hits you, and the shape, size. But I guess if you're a gun owner, you have to know those things, because I don't think that they come with instruction manuals what bullets to use. If you load the wrong one, it might not be such a good idea. And I'm sure there are people who loaded the wrong round and then had a little accident. Did you enjoy Wonder Festival? If so, are you those people who watches everything as it comes out and stays up late at night evening, or do you prefer to watch everything calm next morning? To be honest, I wasn't even aware that Wonder Festival already happened. I mean, I was aware that it's like close because I saw all the like preparations and people are starting to use the hashtag of the current Wonder Festival. But no, I don't cover it. You know, I mean, I will attend the next Wonder Festival now that it's over, but or hopefully I will attend. At least I plan as good as I can. But what would be the point of covering it? I mean, those are like you have like the same photos that people take from the prototypes at the convention center, and then they post it, and it's like if all the people do the same thing, why should I do it also? So I don't cover it or don't like share those posts, because I think people who are interested in such a in a thing like Wonder Festival, I assume that they are like newbies to figures, so they are pretty involved in the hobby. So I think they will just get the information. So if everybody shares it, I mean, yeah. But no, I did not see it. I mean, I will see it over time. I guess it's the same with games that nowadays Wonder Festival is just one of many release events. Some of them also did some private or personal events. Like I know that Good Smile has a similar thing going on, and yeah. So no, I did not. This weekend. Oh, okay. See, I thought, because I did not see anything until now, so I was like, did it already happen? But to be honest, currently my whole Twitter is spammed with those tap and hold pictures that apparently the Japanese like found out and are now getting crazy over it. And for some reason, it worked like in the morning, and in the afternoon, all those pictures were like a bit more like already like half uncovered. So the effect of tap and hold wasn't as like special anymore, because you could already kind of see what's the actual picture. So, but it's interesting. I guess that's the beauty of the internet. You can never know what will become the next viral thing or the next meme, so to say. And now we have this. So people are sharing all those pictures. But yeah, I'm sure I will see some certain people post their like highlights of Wonder Festival, and then I will see them. Maybe if I held off with my this month in figures, I can like talk a little bit about it. But then again, it always feels a bit disingenuous because I don't follow it that closely. And I gotta say, with figures in general, there are so many releases every time. Like each day, each week, each month, there are like dozens of figures released. I mean, even with it's not even that crazy with video games, because the AAA stuff comes out like not so often during the year. It's like good movies. You have like a couple of them each year. But with figures, it's crazy. I mean, and so it's really hard to keep up, and even harder to get excited about new releases. Because I know for sure that sometimes there will be like a figure that you really like and you want to have it, but this will hardly be the last one that you ever buy. So there will always be a next even more awesome figure. It's basically their reason why anime is still produced, I think, to sell merchandise and to sell figures. So it's a whole big industry. And now you have so many also, like so many Chinese manufacturers with Chinese figures, kind of like with the model kits as well, that they tend to look like really over the top and stunning, and also not so pricey, so it's a good alternative. But of course then there are even more things you might want and might consider to buy. So because I found out that the easiest way to not spend money is to just don't look at like consumable goods. Don't watch commercials, don't like do like scrolling around in certain sites. You know, don't visit Ami Daily and like look at all the stuff that comes in, or the new release stuff. Just don't do it. Just pretend it doesn't exist. I mean, it's hard to do this because you will get constantly bombarded with ads and stuff, but still. Every year I hope they will announce the few androids of characters I like and my friends, and I make a bingo card that says, oh, that's actually a fun idea. Reminds me of the conventional bingo that started somewhere like before COVID, and it was a thing that even like sometimes even got printed in the magazines, in the official like guides for the conventions. So they were in on the joke. This also did not stick to the model. Actually, I made 2 meme photos for previous Wonder Festival. Oh yeah, so this is also the thing that my figure collection tends to get like really slow or down, and people are starting to. Okay. I did not glue this very well, but no, wasn't even sure if I should do this. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward, or I'm really curious how my first, and let's be real, maybe only Wonder Festival like attendance will be, because I don't think that I will do this like every year, or like even like ever so often. I mean, I guess it might be like Comic Cat as well, like simply overwhelming. And if you are like us, if you don't have a like a battle plan, that you are pretty lost. Because let's face it, the people who live in Japan, who are like deep in the hobby, they know what they want, and they know what to look for and where to go to certain vendors and booths. So yeah. Let me check out that link. Yeah, let me check out that link. Huh? What is this, like recent? No, it's 2017. Yeah. I assume I have seen this back in the day. Oh, those Nendo boxes really look great. On that small scale, you can really like. It's actually like a real figure box with the inlay, with the blister inside. Look at all those like low triple digit Nendroids with like below 500. It's actually crazy. So yeah, I mean, I have already like seen a couple prototypes before Wonder Festival that I'm very interested in, for especially the Jill Valentine. Nah, no, it's not Jill Stingray. I'm such an idiot. Jill Valentine is from Resident Evil. No, the Jill Stingray figure from Valhalla, where she is in a cocktail glass. And also the newly announced Cardcaptor Sakura figure that is based on the artwork with the grown-up Kero thingy, the lion. Because I sold, or I gave all away my pretty nice Cardcaptor Sakura statues that I had, like both of them, and so I might need a new one. Goes well with my Oh My Goddess statue from Good Smile that I still have. I guess it's one of my oldest figures, if not the oldest figure that I currently own. And it still holds up. It's one of those rare instances where a figure from like 2012, 13, I don't know, when this came out, still holds up. Luckily, the figure is supposed to be like like Oh My Goddess. It's Belle Dandy and her angel, and it's like a safety angel thing. It once survived a fall from like this high. Not gonna lie. It smashed through like 3 layers of glass, like when a Detolf cabinet collapsed. It was my fault. It wasn't like the showcase's fault, because sometimes you hear horror stories about like self-exploding Detolf things, and I'm always like, I don't think this is really what happened. Might be some user error involved, like it was when I did it. But the figure survived, like, what is kind of amazing. I mean, there are some scratches on the base, some minor scratches, but everything else like held up. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, might consider those figures to buy, but I will scale back my figure consumption next year, because if I'm doing this in this pace, I will have a never-ending backlog of boxed figures, and this is not what I want, to be honest. I mean, at least with a backlog of plastic models, you have to have a backlog, because if you don't build them, it's just a bunch of plastic runners, not very decorative. But with scale figures, you shouldn't have this problem. You should just, if you have enough space, you should just unbox them and display them. But if you are like me and want to keep them preserved until at least filmed, that's a problem. Okay, so I will not attempt to paint this any further, because I don't think it makes any sense. I will just let it dry, and then we can, I guess I can do the window like frames, the actual like window things, like the black doors that I behind me. You can't see it, but it's there. Trust me, it's there. Trust me, bro, it's there. Oh no, I made a little thing. You took such an amazing photo of this figure too. Absolutely loved them. Such a beautiful Belle Dandy figure. I captured it. Yeah, I mean, this was before the accident. I guess. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, this was one of those photos where it's actually the photos that I kind of love the most, because not much work, great idea, great execution, not much to it. It still looks great. No? Because let's be honest, you can build a diorama like this, sink in like 100, 200, 300 hours, doesn't matter. And if it turns out good or great, yeah, I mean, it better should be, because all of the money and time you spent. But if it doesn't, I mean, it's even more like embarrassing. but with like nice little photos, effect photos. I always like those the most, to be honest, when it was simple yet effective. But building is fun. I mean, I really much enjoy like crafting stuff. But if I cannot execute my vision, the best backdrop does not really help. Sometimes the backdrop wouldn't be doesn't need to be that crazy, because it's not like model building where you just have like a train set where you have to watch it in real life. But it's just basically a set piece, you know. I mean, a set piece in a movie also does not look very good if you watch the behind the scenes material, but it looks good in a movie, and that's what counts. So yeah. Okay, so I will leave it as it is. It's brown now. The camera is such poor quality, you won't see the difference here. Everything is brown. My fingers are brown, and so I will wash them. And then I will come back and we will do other stuff. The pile of shame. Backlog is normal in Model Hobby. Yeah, in Model Hobby, it's quite normal, I think. But with figures, I don't know. I mean, some people have like boxed figures because usually they don't have the space to display them. But if you have the space and basically also want to display them, it would be crazy not to do it. So yeah. Luckily, the showcase that I've built also displays the figures inside the box very well. So that's a plus point. If I would fill it up all with like boxed figures, it would always look like a shelf from a store, like a nice shelf at least. Most of these store shelves don't look as nice because they try to cram as much as possible into those poor shelves. But if anime shops were more like Apple stores and not more like thrift stores, then it would look like this, I guess. Me too. Sorry, but I only into Japanese. Oh, that's actually one that I've never heard. I mean, I heard those like, oh, I bring home 6 figures, or like every like figure related pun, because you know figure also stands for money or for income. But with the models, yeah, that's actually nice. That's actually a nice one. Okay, I have to wash my hands and get this like off the table. So see you in a minute, okay? And I'm back. Okay, so now while this is drying, oh shit, I forgot one. Huh. Luckily, I still have some paint over here. Huh. Interesting. Well. Let's use another brush and paint this quick. Where are my brushes? Where did they go? Here. Okay. I was under the impression that I have everything, but this is like the problem when it splits into two halves. And I was like, huh, I did everything, but nope. Nope. Let me use this brush. So I need something I can put this onto. Let me get some tissue from the Polish flag. So actually I'm very I can use all the paint, because when there is some leftover paint, it's always like, what should I do with it? It's such a hassle to remove it from those tops. You know. Okay. So maybe I have to wash my hands again. Ay. The painting process is like the most time consuming of all the builds, believe it or not. Building a set, regardless what it is, most of the time is very straightforward, but painting takes so much time. Because you have to do like several layers. You can't usually you can't do it at once. There's always like this part where you hold it. I mean, I'm just lazy. I just paint over my fingers and grab it, and it doesn't really matter. But usually, sometimes it does. And yeah, and then you have to like get different shades in. Sometimes you have to weather it. So yeah, it's kind of painting. Yeah. So even if I'm doing this really quick, you could not do this with like model kits or stuff like that. But still, it's so much work, and you have to wait until until it dries up. So yeah, and that's the thing people don't see. You see the whole structure, and you think about like building it, but actually painting the whole thing takes the most time. And I'm also not a big fan of like spray cans, because it's always kind of waste of money. Get outside there and spray something. I mean, it's like a power wash thing. It feels awesome to spray paint something. I get it, but usually it's just you blow paint through the air and not much happens. And even like the cheapest spray paint you can get at the hardware store costs like $5 or $6 a can. So. And also sometimes the spray can like provides an interesting texture on certain surfaces, almost like a coral. It builds up and builds up and builds up, so it becomes more and more coarse. I've noticed this with the studio logo that I built last year at the same time last year. July, August, I was like building the studio logo, and then I used some spray paint, and I was like, this looks worse than before. let's sand it back down and start again from scratch, or like at least, you know. I mean, that's the next thing. If you are doing this really by the numbers, you always have to sand the last layer a bit. So basically you remove paint before you add some. Is one layer enough? One layer isn't enough, but I will just pretend and let this dry for a moment. Okay. So I will take a short break again, but then we ride. Okay, so final break, hopefully. I brought myself a beer. No, because I guess I earned it. So cheers. Just have to take care that I don't spill it. And in addition to the wood frame, we also have the glass window, the stained glass window. Like this part here. And I already printed this out with the 3D printer. I made this by myself, the texture. And so it looks fairly accurate. Yeah, good night. Have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will continue. I'll try this technique now. And I've lasered out a sheet of acrylic glass, very, very thin. And I guess I have to remove the protective foil if I want to or not. Okay. And first I have to apply this onto the acrylic glass sheet. I will use a bit of super glue because I guess that's the best option that I have. Let's see. If this sticks together as well as like 2 layers of PLA, because PLA and super glue never fails to amaze me how well this sticks and holds together. Almost as well as tissue and skin. Only almost. Okay, let's press this onto here. It already starts to stick to my fingers, but not to the actual frame. Okay. Now I use the clamps to clamp it down. So hopefully this will hold. Okay. Fourth one, so extra sturdy. Let's try this. And then this is like a little bit tainted. This is like transparent, but this is more like a yellowish touch. So we have like a light green, a light yellow, and some like basically yellows, I guess. Just shades of yellow and green. So if I'm not mistaken, I got some model kit colors that I can use for this. Let's see. I want to use like transparent one, but I don't know if I have the right colors available. I guess I can use the flesh ones here. Here's a neon one, but neon one is pretty extreme, I guess. I guess I can try to use the flesh colored ones for the more like salmon effect. There is a pale clear brown. Might go good. And what's in here? What's this? It's a gold one? No. That's pale clear orange, okay. I thought I had more skin tone colors. Ah, here they are. Maybe I will use the fluorescent yellow as well. Let's see how this works. Because I don't have normal yellow. I mean, I have normal yellow, but this is like, this is primary. It's not gloss. It's not semi-translucent. I have a blue one, primarily clear. What's this? It's a smooth pearl coat. Oh, well, let's try this out as well. It's a primary color. That's primary as well. I need some green, but I don't have one. The only green that I have is metallic, so might not be the best choice, I think. Primary car. Okay, car color. So char colored, it's car colored. Okay, so let's try this with those colors. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I guess I need a good brush for this, not my garbage brushes. So let's see if this already is dried up, because if not, it won't dry any further. Test. Okay. Drop test. Not so bad, not so bad. Okay. So, and what I want to do now is, let me start with let's start with that color. How does this look? Ugh, yuck. That's not transparent. Oh god, it's stuck. Ah, that's a nice transparent one. Then I take a brush, like can be a larger one, like this. I will just drop some paint in here. Okay. Let me see if I can shake this up a bit, if it makes any difference. Okay. How would the orange behave? Everything settled to the ground. That's better. Let's see how the orange behaves. Oh, that's so much better. Let's drop some orange into here. The basic idea was to fill this up, to get some colored, some stained glass effect. Well, it already looks nice. You can actually see the difference between the painted ones and the unpainted ones. Okay, so this actually works, huh? So I guess I will do one drop in each of those bigger ones. What I can try is to like, does this work? If I use like some air. Okay. This doesn't help much, but yeah, it's a nice effect. So let's see how the fluorescent yellow is doing. No, pretty extreme. Pretty extreme, but might be a good contrast if it doesn't spill into the other ones. Okay. Yeah, this looks actually quite nice. I knew I would use the yellow one for something because I bought it for the Lancer, but it was too extreme. But now I can use it. Okay, and for the other ones, that should be like a more greenish tint. But I don't have a normal green. I don't know why, but I don't have normal green. I can search this like dozen times, but there won't be any green stuff. And I guess the metallic one is a bit too extreme. Let's test out the metallic one. Also stuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, I might be able to like use only the chemicals, not so much the paint. Oh, let's see. Okay. Hard music cut here. Oh, it looks so good. I mean, Better than like without the colors for sure. But it actually looks nice. I mean, maybe the color will get a bit more faded over time when it dries up, but still. Since I will illuminate this set from behind with the television set, this will shine, hopefully. Okay, and the rest I will just use the cream one, I guess. Can we go with the cream one? Nah, fam, nah. Yeah, I use that one. Different brush though. Smaller one to drop them in here. I really have to drop the color in there. Not so much paint it, because this doesn't stick like all to the glass window. It's just, you know, a bit. Oh, I just missed one green one here. What's with my hand? Oh, I'm green. I'm green, da ba dee da ba da. Okay, let's paint the last green one, because it's a bit annoying that I missed it. So one final vibe check. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, let's do the outer ones one last time. Was that the transparent one? Yeah. The orange ones. It is fun to watch. I mean, it's fun to do to an extent. At least I can use those like 30-minute sister colors that I've bought. Usually they are supposed to be like skin color things, but now I'm using this for my figure dioramas. Every square or like shell, it's a shell texture, like scales, no, not shells, scales, like fish scales. Fish scale texture gets a drop in here. It's like orange juice, or like, no, not like orange juice, it's multivitamin, that's what it is, multivitamin. Dropping some multivitamin juice into those little compartments. Hoping that when everything dries up, it won't be as extreme as it is now. Oh shit. Just one. Can I suck this up? Come on. Yeah, this works. Okay. The amount of paint that I'm using here, this will take quite some time to dry up. Okay. So the rest I will fill with the clear red. And it smells funny. Okay, now filled all the cubbies with orange and red. So now let's go for the yellow once again, and then the green, and then we are ready. curious how this will look when everything's dried up, because usually those colors tend to lose in intensity. That's the right word to use. It's pretty intense though. But this is not a bad thing. Usually when added with light, it tends to like lose color, so it's better to have some additional pigment in here. Okay, so I guess I have to wash out my brushes again. Because I will let this dry and then see how it looks. From the backside, doesn't even look too bad from the backside, to be honest. I was like under the impression it might look worse from the backside, but that's the front side, so it's nice. I mean, the yellow is a bit extreme now, but if I have some backlight, let's see, like so, you see, it's not that bad. Let's keep this a little bit from away. So you see, it's not that bad of a color choice. Camera is a bit overwhelmed with this lighting situation, but still. And the idea was to have this between those two layers. They're already somewhat dry. One of those even has a groove so that it can fit in. I was a little bit crafty there. Look, it has a groove so that we can actually hide. And then you can put this on top. And we have our little stained window glass. How do I like glue this in here? With like normal, like, let me just wash out those brushes. Where is my paint thinner? So I hope you are enjoying your Friday night with me on the stream. I've opened a can of beer, a couple cold ones. And I've already started with the paint job on this diorama. Built it last 3 weeks, I guess. Always have to check when I started with those projects. The stream is actually quite a good resource for that, to see where I started, when I started, and how long it takes me to finish such a project. Working hours are still a bit untrue to calculate, because for this one I did a ton of work off stream, but I guess for all my projects I do certain steps off stream, usually because they might not be as entertaining or as rewarding to watch, and also because they have to be done at some point. You know? And if I only work during one day on Friday for a couple hours, then I don't get things done. But I guess like 3 or 4 hours like streaming or working on those projects is a good pace, because I don't know, I'm not the person who can spend like, I can't do this all day. That's what I want to say. I have a coworker who is like a gamer, and he tells me he can like game for hours on end. But yeah, I'm not so, I don't have this kind of stamina. I want to have something where I can just place the glue on. Does it melt plastic? I hope not. Usually this dries up pretty fast, so that's a plus point. So and those two layers I can glue together with wood glue. I would glue this, I would glue this. Question is, can I press this together without like ruin it? The decorational items on it. I guess if I want to have this done, I have to screw the decorations. Like I said, if anything gets damaged, it's just weathering. It's just old building that falls apart. So nothing to worry about. Okay, so we have a thing in a wood frame. So I would like to show you this, but can you see it now? Yeah, tries to focus. Ah, that's actually nice. Like I said, it does not. It looks extreme now, but if you shine some light through it, like so, it's not as extreme, isn't it? See? It's not as extreme. If I watch this through the like ceiling light, it looks actually quite nice. But it's dripping with paint. Ugh. Ugh. Guess I have to set this on a tissue and let it dry. Okay. So this is actually a thing I can do. I can repeat. Green thinner. Normally those I don't see those colors very often when working with model kits. Oh, okay, so this, ooh, this like, everything like runs out. Huh. Well, it's actually not such a bad thing if the paint comes out a bit. Huh. Okay. Can I just remove the excess paint with like a brush? I guess I can. Well, would you look at that? It sips juice like crazy. Kind of looks like a printer, like one of those ink printers. What were they called? DeskJet ink. When you have a problem with your cartridge. That's what it looks now. So let's get it like the other way around. Like all those colors seeped out, so no, we're getting there. It's definitely still the effect is still there. So maybe I have to do it again. It's learning by doing. Learning by doing. I mean, if you want to have this really nice, you could spend hours with this, like painting individual layers. But let's be honest, I don't know if you even would see this. It's the side panel from the window. I guess you will see it in the final picture, but I don't know for sure. Let's be real. Okay, I guess I will store it like this so that the color won't seep out from the bottom. From the bottom of my heart. Store it like this. Okay. And now, is my microphone still on? Yeah, okay. Because I don't know how long the batteries will last. The window frame might be good as well, good to go. So I can measure the cardboard for the actual window frames. Let's see, 3mm. So we have 13.4. Let's see. How should we approach this? So 6.7. Is this still 90 degrees? Almost 90 degrees, so let's make it 90 degrees. Okay, so what did I say? 13.4 in width. .4. So that's how wide our windows are. Okay, and the middle is 6.7. Then we only need the height. 15.1, I guess. Can do this. 15.1. So that's our base for the window. And then we need like a frame. So I guess what would be a good frame? Something like this. So that it's still visible, it's still noticeable. But not too much, because otherwise it would look comical. I'm doing the same from every side. Was this a good one? I skipped. I noticed that I skipped. And from the bottom, same thing. So now we have our window frames, and I have to actually cut all of that. Not only the outside, but the inside as well. So, and then I have to do it again. And if I want to have it really nice, I have to do it 4 times. Because the glass sheet will be in between. And that it has a little bit of a structure to it. You do it on the back side as well. And then you cover up the edges with some black, because the windows are black, but with some paper, black paper in this case. And then it looks like basically one solid structure. That has a window in it, a glass window. But it's also a ton of work, because now if I cut the inner side, I also have to cut it from both sides. Otherwise, you would see the cut from the knife. So actually, each cut is two attempts from both sides. You might ask why I don't do this with the laser. And of course I could. But to construct this would take some time, and I won't take this time. Usually the laser also takes some time to cut stuff like this, if it's quite dense, like the MDF sheets or this denser cardboard. And so also I'm used to do stuff with my hands. And also it isn't really entertaining to watch, isn't it? I mean, entertaining, but you know, there are those like videos online where people like basically craft something, and it's basically just parts from the 3D printer that they stick together. So yeah, I mean, sure. It's like printing the Gutenberg Bible. It might look nice, but you did not write this or like craft anything. So it still feels a bit like cheating. By the way, cheating doesn't have anything to do with cheating, but this reminds me like the whole printing topic, that I still need to print a belt buckle, smart doll sized, because my mother asked for a red belt buckle. I don't have red filament here, but I can print it in white and just paint it red. Might even have some red spray paint here. And I don't know, I mean, obviously she's working on some kind of doll garments, some clothes, but I cannot think what there might be with a red belt buckle. Maybe there's the Supergirl outfit, isn't there? Like a, because red belt buckle, this sounds like a superhero costume, and I know that Danny did the Supergirl smart doll way back then. The Supergirl movie wasn't even like in production back then, so this has nothing to do with that Supergirl. But yeah, maybe she is doing a superhero outfit. I don't know. At least this would be like the only thing where a red belt buckle would make sense. I mean, trousers for girls to begin with, ridiculous, huh? And she also said she needs a belt buckle. She did not describe the belt buckle any further. I mean, there's more than one belt buckle design. But I guess I will go with the most classic one. The one that was on the belt that Dad used to hit someone. Like the Goofy meme. The only thing is that my printer won't be happy with those tiny parts. All of the models or files I've checked, they also say print with support, and I can see why. And this wouldn't be a problem if I print out a human-sized belt buckle, but a doll-sized one, I don't know how good this will look, because a doll-sized belt buckle is still like as small as one of my fingernails. I mean, I have large fingernails, but still. It takes some time to cut something like this. It also is a good training. It really takes some force to cut 3mm of dense cardboard. And so it's like a muscle training. Okay, wow, it falls out. Okay, other side as well. Still not 100%. Okay, so now we have our window frame. And to be honest, I won't make the window like openable. I don't separate this because then like 2 additional pieces and I don't need them. I also like close the door because I will not open the door in the final model. And now we can try to fit this in here. If I measured correct, I measured so well. Look at this. A window. Just paint it black, and it might look good. So now we have to do this a second time. So entertaining to watch. At least I can use this side, so I don't have to cut everything. I can use this as a stencil, like as a pattern, but usually this also means that it gets worse every time. And you have to be careful not to bend it, especially if it's a little, you know. Nah, I will just use the outside, but not so much the inside. We'll just measure the inside. So I can rest my hands a bit more. Okay. Let's I'm really looking forward to tomorrow morning because I might sleep a bit longer. I was getting up early all week, and last weekend was also quite stressful. So, I mean, it was positive stressful, but still. And I already received complaints that I'm sleeping too often in the office. I don't know why this is so frowned upon, like sleeping. I mean, in Asia they do this all the time. Whenever there is some downtime, they just close their eyes and sleep, or like nap. But apparently it's okay if you sit there with your eyes open and just like doom scroll on your phone, or like, you know, just basically sit there and do nothing, stare at a wall. But as soon as you close your eyes and actually take some rest, some well-needed rest, it's like, oh, you're sleeping at the job. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, of course I am, because it's nothing to do. So I can either like pretend to do something, but for like just what did the youth call it? Raw dogging. It like just sit there and stare at walls. I'm too sleepy. I can't do this. Same with reading. But of course, you should not have downtimes at work. Even if you don't have work to do, you should start and ask some colleagues if they need help. Yeah, but nobody does this. I mean, and that's also the reason why everybody is not super like enthusiastic about finishing early with stuff, because they know if they finish one task, they will be tasked with another one. So every task will basically take as long as the day till the shift is over, or till it's time to go home. It's the same with like, how much does this cost? I only have this amount of money, and then they say, oh, that's exactly how much it costs. Wouldn't you know? I don't know why this is so like. Did not measure it the right way. Nah, it's okay. No. Cutting it from both sides is so much more work. I don't know. But it's the only way to have it look nice. Problem is also that when it gets so narrow, it's hard to hold it, because you have to use quite some force. Like I said, it's like a training, it's like a workout routine. Cardboard cutting. And also it's almost midnight, so basically my shift's almost over, If I do this any longer, I will work overtime. And honestly, I don't get paid overtime, so I might as well end the stream at midnight. Shit. That's the thing if you don't use a ruler. Luckily, it has two sides. Oh my god. I also have to water the plants. I mean, I have to turn on the water system. Cannot forget to do this. I'm really curious about the upcoming heat wave, because there were a couple days where they like forecasted over 40 degrees. What by itself would be pretty uncommon. But there is like a temperature, like a field temperature, like how you feel the temperature. And this pushed well into like high 40s, like 45, 47, 40, yeah, 47, I guess, was the highest that I read. Or was it actually 50s? I don't know. So I guess if there is such a big discrepancy between real temperature and the temperature you feel, this means that the wind might turn to southeast or south wind. So actually, because now we have like mild temperatures, because the wind comes from northwest all the time, quite some heavy winds. And if the wind changes to south, it will get very hot. Ah, yeah, thank you so much. I wish you also a nice weekend. And if you want to, catch me on Monday for Plum Monday, when I start with the little Miku kit. And yeah, hopefully I can work also a little bit on the diorama as well for the next couple days. But I also want to finish some of my video stuff before the heat wave strikes, so it's a race against time. Or like I always like to call it in German, ein spannender Wettlauf gegen die Zeit beginnt. It's like what they always say in like trailers or like previews for like movies. And now it's a race against time. Actually, I watched the recent or the new like Doomsday trailer, like the Avengers film movie, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, this looks like every other generic Avengers or like superhero movie trailer. It was like so generic, like, oh my god, there is this big threat and it's really dangerous and we have to like bring all the team members and it's dark and it's gritty and oh my god. And now they are bringing back all like the original Captain America and stuff. And I don't know, man. See, that's the problem. It's so hard to tell a story and to have the perfect ending. I mean, that's hard enough. Some series don't even make it to this point, but then you have to let things go. If you just reboot it every time or just like want to tell another story, I mean, a reboot would be even preferable. But if you just want to use the same actors and the same characters, I mean, what's the point of even like having an end like they did with Endgame? But yeah, I mean, I guess it's their job to produce movies, and it's the job of the actors to act. And as long as there are a certain amount of people who will watch the movies, either in cinema or via streaming or like other platforms, they will continue to make those. So now we have like two, so the frame gets even thicker. Basically, I also have to paint this black before I put in the window sheets. And yeah, should I do this? Yeah, I guess I will cut this out because then I have the cutting done and I can focus on the black paint and you know, have everything done. How is our like thingy doing? Our stained glass. Oh, okayish. Okayish, I guess. Look. You cannot really see that, but yeah, okay, now you can. For comparison, this would like this looks like if nothing is paint, you know. Looks like this. Oh, okay. That's the difference. It looks nice when light shines through, like stained glass should. Okay, so I will just cut those two parts. I mean, I will just yap on, and maybe someone gets curious and comes by. Look at all those like parts that I've cut out. I can use this as some sort of, I mean, I guess I should do it like this. Some sort of house of cards. No, let's don't do this. But I keep those. Those are nice pieces. Okay. Or maybe I can't cut it because I don't have enough material here. I need 3mm cardboard. And apparently I don't have any here. What's with this one? Okay, here is enough material. I've brought all the material to the workshop now. First I was afraid. I was petrified. No, I was yeah, I was like worried that it might get like soaked with humidity, with water, and it might do, but no, I don't care anymore. If it gets a little wet. Okay, so is this like 45 degree? let's cut it new. Don't trust those manufactured folds. I mean, when the stream ends for you guys, I always have to like clean up the workshop. Don't forget this, huh? I mean, I don't have to, but I want to. And so I still have work to do even when the camera turns off. But you might relate to that. You might also have to do some work afterwards, like doing the dishes or doing some ironing. As somebody would iron like clothes. Nobody does this anymore. It's just a boomer activity. My mom irons all the things, like even like what is called towels. I mean, they are easy to iron, but still, or bed sheets or underwear. I mean, yeah. I've never seen the benefit. Quite the contrary. If you iron, this is such a dust cannon to iron something. I mean, doing the laundry in general is such a dusty thing to do. And if you don't believe me, just wash some laundry, hang them to dry, let them dry, put them away, and afterwards you take your hand where the like laundry stand was and make like this on the floor and look at your hand. And yeah, you can be like slow while doing it. Don't just, but still there will be dust everywhere. So I mean, I guess you can do this outside, but I was never like the biggest fan of drying laundry outside. People say, oh, that's so good, and the laundry will get even softer, but I don't know. I mean, I use like a softener, you know, even though some people would say this is not a good thing to use because it's basically just microplastic that you put into your clothes. But still, I like the smell, you know, and so I use it. And if I hang it outside to dry, it basically I just use the fragrance for the outside, so it's not a good thing to do. Just a waste. And also I've constantly have to think about how will the weather be in the next couple hours? Will there be rain? Is my laundry out there? And also on an unrelated note, at least for most people, having a full like stand of laundry in your room, wherever you want to put it, acts also as a fine dampener for voice. So if you are like me and try to record something, the recording gets even better because your voice gets dampened and softened by the cloth. Might even get work better if they are wet. I don't know. Might be some interesting experiment if wet clothes are better for sound dampening than dry clothes. So some YouTuber must record something in their closet with dry clothes and then do the same thing with wet clothes. and see if it makes any difference. I'm sure people have already tried this. Like every idea you can have these days, somebody already did it. Somebody already tried it. Somebody already thought about it. Because now you compete not against your peers, your fans, friends and family, but you compete against the whole world. Oh, you're still here? I can't really stand hot weather. The weather we've had over the last few days was perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. It was like a Goldilocks thing. Goldilocks. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm always saying. I have this saying that to shiver in summer is like luxury. It's a luxury thing. So if you are cold in the summer month, it's quite the luxury to have. But yeah, I mean, gotta say, last couple of nights, especially early in the morning, were pretty chill. I mean, it's a good thing. House cooled down a lot, but still, I don't know, the early morning hours, driving the bike. Was almost like autumn. But yeah, I mean, it gets harder and harder each year. So I guess we have to endure it. This might be become a real big problem soon, because it's not like we can endure it indefinitely. At some point, we'll just like die. Even if you do nothing. I mean, of course you can say, okay, don't go outside, or like don't do anything while it's hot outside, but still it becomes a breaking point where it's just too hot. Otherwise we could like live, I don't know, on another planet where it's much hotter than on Earth. Is Mars hotter than Earth? I don't think so, because isn't it farther away from the sun? Isn't it like planets get like smaller the nearer they are to the sun, and like bigger than when the sun is like not so? I never like paid attention to those things in school. I know that we have like what, 8 planets, because Pluto isn't a planet anymore, or is it a planet again? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, even on the moon, it's quite a difference if you are like in the shade or if you are in the sun. It gets fairly hot. I wonder how they managed this when they were on the moon, because when you hear about like in the moon shadow, it gets really cold, and in the sun it's also quite warm. So I wonder how they did this when they landed on the moon. How long were they on the moon? Like in minutes? Was it like a couple minutes? Was it like a couple hours? I don't think it was a couple hours. Guess I have to read the Wikipedia entry on the moon landing. Can do this at work. It's better than sleeping, apparently. And then I can impress people with my moon knowledge. I mean, it's also quite interesting that the moon still has so much influence on Earth. I mean, yeah, there are the tides and stuff like that, but also like the temperature. I mean, you always say, oh, it's a full moon, that's why it's so cold at night. And I was like, I mean, technically this makes no sense, doesn't it? I mean, the moon is just reflecting the sunlight. So technically it should be warmer when there is like a full moon because more sunlight gets reflected. But apparently, I don't know how this correlates to the temperature. Oh my god. I'm really curious if I will see people on the moon in my lifetime. I don't know. They always say they plan for a moon landing in the near future, but I'm not so optimistic, to be honest. Would be interesting to see if a moon landing that is broadcasted would be like watched like back then, because I think it won't, because nowadays you just can watch it whenever you want. There would be like recordings of it, and you just, you know, catch the reels on Instagram when the astronauts step on the moon. It's like the same with like the World Cup. I mean, back then when there was, I did not watch the World Cup, the final games, like the one where it was like about place 3, and also not the one like the finale. I did not watch it, and I was like, especially with the finale, I was like, should I watch it? And then I was like, it does not matter, because the score I can get from the newspaper tomorrow, and if I want to watch the highlights, or basically just the goals and stuff like that, you can watch this on any social media platform you want. But back then you did not have the possibilities. When it was just broadcast on the TV, you had to either be there, like in person, or you had to watch it on television. Otherwise, you would not have seen the game. But nowadays, you just watch it when you have time, like the highlights. You don't even watch the whole thing, because, let's be honest, it's boring to watch a whole football game. I mean, at least most of the time it's boring. Okay, another window frame done. Last one. Oh yeah. I'm getting really tired, but power through. Maybe I should have opened an energy drink and not a beer, but there is no energy drink in the fridge, so I've got with the second best thing. Oh, I see. I have to cut a new edge, because that one is not so good. It has a step in there. I'm also not really frugal when it comes to the material that I use. I try to not remember that this costs so much money, what I'm currently using, like real money. I just pretend it's just some free stuff that I get from work. Because otherwise I would have like to keep every bit that I cut off and say, okay, maybe I will use this, but there is a certain like those sheets, I spare them, because maybe I can use them in the future. I mean, those are like nice sheets. Also, is this not the same? Okay, thank you. See, that's when I do overtime, the microphone is doesn't like it as well. I mean, I just throw in one battery instead of two, and that one is not full. That I can promise. So it might go out again, but let's race against it. What dies earlier, I or the battery? Ein spannender Wettlauf gegen die Zeit beginnt. So yeah, basically I was speaking about visiting Japan. There are two things besides Wonder Festival that I really want to do. First is to visit the Smart Door store again, even though I know that it's not the same experience that it was like 10 years ago, because they got bigger and bigger and they might not have the time to chat. And I guess you also can't build a doll anymore. What's okay, because I don't want to. But this is like, and then I want to visit Tokyo, Disney Tokyo or Disney Tokyo Sea, like the two parks. And also Aoki also sent me a video that it's basically just not as great as it was, like in terms of crowds. It's like overcrowded. And I was like, yeah, this will be a running theme for the trip, that in the last 10 years, the tourism in Japan picked up by quite a bit. Luckily for Oki and Sat, they won't have any comparison. That's always a good thing if you don't have a comparison, like a standard you can measure against. But yeah, I'm quite sure that it will be more crowded with tourists, with foreigners, as it was like 10 years ago. Because let's face it, Japan tourism is booming. First, of course, because I mean, I guess there are three reasons. First, of course, the Japanese pop culture is ever so big, became quite substantial in the last decade, quite mainstream, so to say. Next reason is, of course, that the yen at the moment is unbelievably weak, like multi-decades low. And I guess the third reason is that it is still like an impressive country, like a mystical, whimsical place to be, that you can still visit without much fear, I guess. Because let's face it, like, I guess tourism USA, but I guess it's not that bad. I mean, they just hosted the World Cup and people were like, oh, it's actually quite nice here, or it's not so bad as the media pretend it is. But you can't deny that the tourism for America died down a bit since, you know, at least the second Trump term. And so people still want to travel, so they might say, oh, Japan is also, because let's face it, money-wise, it does not really matter if you go to Japan or to America. The flight almost costs the same, hotels also, so it's an expensive trip. I guess the only trip that might be more expensive these days is Australia. You know, the upside down Japan. But yeah, so but I also told myself, if this trip goes well, I will not wait for another decade to go to Japan again. And if I go there again, I also might not just stick in Tokyo. might visit another city as well. I might even get some driver's license, some international driver's license, and rent a car there and just, you know, try to drive around the country. But then, of course, this is a bit more intense, because then you have to just basically check about your stayings at night, because now it's easy. You just book an Airbnb for the days you are there, and that's it. But if you are driving like across country with car, you just have to you know, see for yourself where you sleep at night. What's about one stroke is missing. The missing stroke. Better. Share any photos. I mean, of course. I guess there will be like a video. I will make a video like in on my private channel in German when I come back. But I'm also kinda considering, because I already planned for an unlimited data SIM card, and also our like apartment will have like internet as well, of course. So we might also and we bring our smartphones, so we might also stream a bit. You know, we will be there on Monday, so we can do Pla Monday and build some plastic model kits in Japan, in our apartment. So this might be fun thing to do. Might not be like as high tech as it is here with all the good light and camera and stuff like that, but I can do it. I might as well stream one time from the porch here, doing some plastic model building outside by poor light, poor candle light, or stuff like that. I'm getting overwhelmed by mosquitoes, I'm quite sure. But yeah, I mean, I was like thinking about bringing a doll to Japan, but I don't know, it's too much of a hassle to bring the smart doll, and have, especially like, to bring her wouldn't be the problem, but to travel with her all the time. You know, I'm not doing this for the marketing, so it's a bit cumbersome. But I might buy myself one of those Nandroid dolls in a nice like casual outfit, and might bring an Android doll so that I can take some on the road photos with the Android doll. Because let's be honest, that's what they are supposed to, like, that's what they are made for. Small, like, cute, posable dolls. But I will only bring my smartphone to film and to take pictures, because let's be honest, that's all you need. I could bring my whole like studio camera, or like rent or buy a camera, or like, you know, a video camera, or even like only a normal camera, but you won't use it. Oh, what the? But yeah, we still is a lot of time until we are going, so doesn't make sense to be enthusiastic about it right now. There's still so much ahead, so better focus on the things that are imminent. I don't know, for some reason I basically stopped planning ahead all the time for like really long stretches of time. That thing is like almost out. If I cut this again, it's over. It's Joe over, like the kids say. I might not even be able to cut through the cardboard with that amount of blade left. So everything is falling apart. Okay. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, at least I'm not using a travel agency for my trips. Like so many of my coworkers did when they got to Japan. They booked it via a travel agency. And I was like, why though? It's like such a boomer thing to do. Like go to a travel agency, and I mean, I guess it makes sense if you want to have like a really intense round trip through multiple like countries and cities, and they just have their perfect organized tour. But I was never like the type for like club vacation and resorts and stuff like that. I guess I only went to a resort once, and it was, I mean, I was a small child, so I wasn't able to complain much or like criticize, but I guess it was kind of boring. I mean, back then holidays were boring in general, most of the time, because I couldn't bring my hobbies, and you weren't, you know, smartphone or like gaming, mobile gaming wasn't a thing back then. So when there was bad weather, for example, when we at our family vacation resort that we visited every year, was just basically always the same area and the same hotel. It was okay when there was like nice weather because you had many outside activities. But when the weather was bad, and back then weather was bad in summer. You cannot imagine this today, but actually there was like rain and stuff when I was a child in summer, like pretty severe thunderstorms and stuff like that. And then it was really boring to be there. And so yeah, I did not really like those vacations. Couple days are okay, but we went there like for weeks, and so usually by the second week I was already like bored. Okay, so I completed the window frames. I can now paint them black, glue them together, like cut a piece of acrylic sheet out and stick them between, so that it will basically look like this in the end, you know, like sturdy thing. Those are the doors, but I mean they come apart, but it's no wonder because I dropped all the things. So what's with the stained glass? Let's open this up. I just destroyed this. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because it's an old building, so it can be destroyed. So let's take one of those window frames. That's the front side. Then we put this over here. See? That's actually not so bad, isn't it? And then comes the actual window frame in here. Let's do just one because... and then we have a nice little wood window that fits perfectly inside the... Well, let's check this as well, so that you can see it. So how does this work? Let's see. There has to be a point where I can stick this in. Okay, like so. Like so. Okay. Then we need the actual window frame. Okay. Stick it together. This comes on top. It's a bit too high, but doesn't really matter. Okay. And it looks like I show it into the main camera. It looks like this. Yeah, it even zooms in because that's one of the side walls. No. Okay, so I have to do this a second time, and once again for the front as well, and then almost finished the entire construction. Once this is done, then it's just painting, 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 and more painting. And in the end, I will do some graffiti, some tags, because that's the structure. All these things have to be covered in graffiti. Okay, good. Let's call it a day. It's almost it's 1:30, or like the Japanese like to call it. It's what is it called? Like AM. There is no AM. There's like 2024. Yeah, there's like the clock on the screen. Normally this should read like 0035, but it's like 12:35. So okay, the day never ends. The day never ends. Okay, so thank you so much for watching another FoolTime. That's how the show is called. I will catch you all next Monday for Plum Monday when I start a new model kit, and yeah, or on Friday for FoolTime again, when I continue with this diorama. It will be the last FoolTime in July. Is this correct? Where is my calendar? My calendar is not here. Oh, here it is. Next Friday. Yeah, next Friday is the 31 of July. So last FoolTime in July. Yeah. See you if you want, and have a nice weekend, and take care out there. Bye bye.